Happy Tuesday. Hopefully everyone's having an awesome Tuesday. And hopefully this video is going to be a lot better than yesterday. I was kind of a scatterbrained, but without further ado, we're going to go talk about some abortion. Now, there's a leaked document from the Supreme Court. It may have been an opinion, may have been an official opinion, or just may have been an opinion from one of the Supreme Court justices saying that the abortion issue should be left up to the states and that Roe versus Wade overstepped its boundaries. But that's not what this video is going to be about. It's a reaction to that video. Now, I normally don't like listening to this dude, but let's go ahead and give him a listen.
Tomorrow's vote will be one of the most important votes we take in this chamber in decades, because for the first time in 50 years, a conservative majority, an extreme conservative majority, on the Supreme Court is on the brink of declaring that women do not have the right to an abortion. They do not have the right to control their own bodies. They do not have the right to health care in the ways that they believe they need. If that happens, tens of millions of women will see their freedoms contract in the blink of an eye. Our children will grow up in a world where they have fewer rights than their parents and grandparents had. America will take a painful and damaging step backward. The American people will be watching the Senate closely tomorrow, and they will not forget how their elected senators voted. Tomorrow's vote will
As you can see, they are pounding the war drum. I'm kind of surprised that he wasn't more energetic or just crying because he's a very emotional person when he needs to be. But it goes even further now. I personally think abortion should be legal but heavily restricted. I think anything time in the first 3 months, which is the first trimester, should be fair game. If you and past the first trimester, when you're going into the second trimester, that's where the restrictions should come in. I mean, if you don't know that you're pregnant 3 months out, you got other issues. That's just my opinion. And the other thing is, I don't agree with calling it healthcare. Let's call it what it is: killing an unborn child. NPR Steve Inskeep talks to Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar, who's expected to vote on the Woman's Right to Kill Their Child Health Protection Act. If it becomes law, it would set federal standard for the right to an abortion / kill babies. That's right. I am calling it what it is because we must be truthful. There's nothing health related about an abortion other than it may be done in a medical settings surrounded by a doctor. There's no care that requires health. You're actually killing a child. You're killing life. You're snuffing out life. Now, I am being very harsh about this because that's the reality of it, but I do support it within the first 3 months. Steve Inskeep hosts Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar joins us next. She is one of the Democratic senators expected to vote this week on the Woman's Right to Kill Their Child in the Womb, or Health Protection Act. If it becomes law, which is unlikely, it would set the federal standards for the right for an abortion, to kill your child within the womb. Senator, welcome to the program. Honestly, this is a 50-year late bill. Once the Supreme Court ruled in Roe versus Wade, they should have made this into a federal law. Could have been a symbolic vote. But either way, cementing it. That's the issue with court law is, or creating laws from the court, is that they could be overturned within the court. Of course, Amy Klobuchar, welcome. Thank you so much. Steve, it's great to be on. In your view, does this bill take the rules of Roe versus Wade and make them law in case Roe versus Wade overturned? That's exactly what it does. It codifies, it puts into the law the protections that appear to be soon stripped away from women, from the women of this country. With the leaked opinion, the court literally is poised to strip away nearly 50 years of women's rights. They have a right to spread their legs, and they have the right to deal with the consequences of spreading one legs. I mean, it takes two to tango. Now, there are some cases where forced upon them, and that should be handled differently, of course. But the right starts with their choice to lower the panties, lower the pants. That's where their rights kind of end, because they want to enjoy certain pleasures of the flesh, but they don't want to deal with the consequences. Now, there are some cases where if the mother were to go to term, there may be a danger to themselves, and that definitely is a different opinion. Okay, 50 years of women's rights, Steve, and we know that the fall will be swift because over 20 states have already have laws in place, including 13 that would automatically go into effect. And I just want to make clear that this is against the wishes of, depending on the numbers used, between 70% to 80% of the Americans, women and men, that stand with them. And to me, it comes down to the fundamental question: who's making these personal decisions for women? It would be the women for when they choose to spread their legs. I'm just being honest. I mean, they have that right to say no. And the men, if they say no, that does not mean yes, that means no. Is it Ted Cruz or is it the woman and her doctor? But what about the women that are pro-life? What about the women that are against Roe versus Wade? And her doctor. I mean, this is the crux of their argument. Is healthcare between a woman and her doctor? We must define what healthcare is. Is there a risk to life? Is there harm? Is there an illness? Is it a parasite or is it not a parasite? Is it a tumor? Is it not a tumor? So we must define what the healthcare is. And I don't think abortion is considered healthcare, in my humble opinion. Of course, Inskeep says, well, that's very interesting. Carperchuck, are women free and equal citizens anymore? Absolutely they are. They are still free. There's no rights being taken away. It's just that you're no longer able to kill your unborn child. And what about men's rights in this? Let's say I knock someone up and I want to have that child willing to spend every dime I have to make sure it's born, making sure that every doctor visit is paid for. Do I have a say in that? Do I have a say to become a father? Or does the mother hold all the cards saying that she's going to abort the child because she doesn't want the stretch marks, but yet she had fun making the child? But yes, I agree that women are still free. They're still equal citizens. The only difference is that a female can get pregnant, but most of the time that requires a male to donate some of their DNA. to kickstart it. Because when you read this opinion, you realize it doesn't take you back to the 1950s. It takes you back to the 1850s. I mean, I'm pretty sure 1850s is when women couldn't vote. They couldn't hold office. Therefore, we're not removing your ability to vote. We're not taking away your ability to run for office. We're just saying that abortion is not health care and it should be left up to the state. And that's probably pretty much all I need to read about this. So these are two senators within the Senate that is going to attempt to pass a law that says abortion, the right to kill your child, should be legal and it should only be up to the female. But I asked this question: what about the fathers? Should they have a say into it, or is it only up to the woman to decide whether or not to take the burden onto them to kill the child or take it to term? There's also some other arguments that I don't really want to get into in this video. Maybe for a later time. What is your comment down below? Yeah, I mean, just comment down below what your opinion is. Should abortion be legal? Should abortion be legal with the restrictions after the first trimester? Or should we be able to make post-birth abortions legal? I'm curious to know what your opinion is. And also smash the like and subscribe button on any and all platforms, or just the platform that you're currently watching on. With that being said, have yourself a blessed day and go and touch some grass.